March 5th, 2018. Haven't done a vlog in a little over a week. Check it out. The very last Fear Fishing Apparel flat brim mesh back. Haven't done a vlog in a bit. Haven't done very much, but we got big things to talk about today. We got some issues. We'll give you the update. There's some crazy stuff going on down the river I want to explain and ask people not to do. It's very important to me. Exciting news about my neighbor. He just rowed a boat across the Atlantic Ocean. Craziness. Let's do this, but first I gotta get gas. We are here down the Ganaraska River. It is -5, the coldest it's been in the last 2 weeks. There's some discharge going down, or ice flow going down the river this morning, so it's probably not a ton of fish biting. But I have 3 topics I want to cover today on our update vlog about steelheading. First off is that bridge. And on Friday, I had an angler who I've known since I was a little kid, who fishes down the Ganny all the time, and said there was an issue with anglers who were fishing above the bridge. So we're gonna go through the regulations. Even if you go a little over the line, it's still poaching. We're gonna talk about how much roe do you possibly need to fish with. I've been hearing stories about guys who are coming down here and killing 2 hens every single day, and I don't understand why you want to wreck our fishery. The other thing I want to talk about is when these anglers were asked to not cast above the bridge by a bunch of concerned anglers, the anglers basically told them to get lost, and then these anglers called the Ministry of Natural Resources to report a fishery crime, and I guess the Ministry of Natural Resources said that they weren't coming because when this case got to court, the judge would just throw it out. So maybe we can give the M&R a call and get an answer to this. And as always, we'll update you what's going on. We're only like a week and 4 days away from the Bassmaster Classic, leaving for South Carolina. Hopefully when we get back, it's going to be a lot warmer. The ice will get off the lakes. Crappie fishing, pike fishing, it's endless. But let's get to everything that's going on in the river. So we have our incredible whiteboard. Amber just hooked me up with some brand new markers. We've got different colors now. It's going to work. You're gonna be able to see this at home. Why are we taking the time to use the vlog update to talk about the river? Because I really care about the river. I wouldn't even fish if it wasn't for the Ganaraska River. So here's the problem. Let's draw the river. We'll use blue for the river. So here's the Ganaraska River with this, we'll do this as the boat launch. Right here's the bridge that you can walk across, and right around here is the train bridge that I showed you. I hope you guys can see this at home. The problem we have right now, new color, we'll use red, is you can't fish here. You can fish here and all the way down to beautiful Lake Ontario. That's somewhere down at the end. We have the regulations right here. This is what the regulations say. The Ganaraska River between the southern limits of the CNR right-of-way and Lake Ontario. The key word here is southerly limit. If you're an angler and you're fishing right here, casting your line forward and letting it drift down, you're an ethical angler. If you're an angler standing right here, firing your line up here to drift down, you just became a poacher. It's against the law. It is closed everywhere but the southerly limit of that bridge. So that means not here, casting up. It means you can't stand here. It means you definitely can't stand here and fire your line up and drift down. But why is this so important? Because these fish that have made it past this red line are protected for that they can go up to the river and spawn, and we can have more steelhead to catch. So by casting up the river and letting it drift down, you're poaching fish. You're taking fish that have already crossed into the safe zone who should be spawning. This has been a huge problem over the last few years. This is not something new. This is just something that was addressed, and we're going to talk about it today. Now, what should people do? I know that some anglers called the Ministry of Natural Resources hotline and were told that they didn't have the resources to send anybody down here to press charges over this. So, right now we're going to call the M&R and ask why this is. All right. Amber, say hi. Amber's working on her happy plan. Is that what you're doing? No, you're just hanging out?
Yeah.
Good morning anyway. Say hi to everybody. I don't think anybody... Have you been on the vlog this year?
I don't know. But I'd really like to not be today.
Well, that's not possible because this is real life and I can't bring you into the vlog. So here's what we're gonna do. We'll use my cell phone. We'll get out here my handy dandy fishing license, and we're gonna call the phone number on the back. Information. That is exactly what we need. I'll skip through all of this till we get to somebody who can answer the questions. See how it goes.
Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry, Ian speaking.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I have a question relating somebody who calls in like a fishing related charge.
Okay.
So I understand there's been people poaching on the Ganaraska River, and a phone call was made to the tip line, and it was explained to the person calling that the ministry wouldn't send a conservation officer because the charge, it wouldn't be worth writing the ticket and having the judge throw it out.
Okay. I'm not sure about that. I'm not at the tips line, so I'm not really sure how they would handle something like that. But if you give me 1 second here, I can find out somebody I can put you through to that might be able to help you out with this. Okay?
That would be awesome. I just want to know what the reasoning is.
Yeah, just give me 1 second here, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you for holding.
No problem.
So what I can do is I can take your information and basically a story of what happened. We'll put it into an email and send it over to the tips lines manager basically, and try and get an understanding. And they may call you, or we will be able to respond back to you.
Okay, I'm not the guy who called in the incident.
Okay.
I'm just like a concerned angler who lives in Port Hope.
Okay. Do you have information of what the call was made about?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay.
It's the same issue that's been going on for a long time.
Okay, and what is that issue? If I can
So it says the southerly limit of the CNR bridge. There's people who are fishing under that bridge and firing their line upstream, which is poaching, right? Somebody called me to see if I could find out any information about this and address this because it's a huge problem.
Okay, so if you want me to send this, would I be able to get some contact information?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I share my information. Perfect.
Okay, so I will get this off as soon as we're off the phone here, okay?
Perfect. That'd be awesome. Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
Have a great day.
You as well.
Bye now. We called. I didn't think we'd get any answers over the phone calling direct, but they hopefully will get back to me. And as somebody who has a fishing license in Ontario, it is beyond your right to call the number on the back and get information on what is going on. So even if I don't get the information back by the time we finish filming this, I will update you on what they said. Issue number 3 going on at the river. Most people fishing steelhead use roe. This is coho roe. This is Chinook salmon roe, which most of the time, 99% of the time I use. This is rainbow trout eggs. They're a lot smaller. It takes a lot more of them to make the same size roe bag as it does with salmon eggs. But the key is I didn't kill any fish to get that roe. The problem at the river that I see and other people complain about all the time is they see the same people every day going down to the river and killing 2 female fish. The position limit on steelhead is only 2, so that means if you kill 2 fish on Monday, before you can kill 2 more fish on Tuesday, you have to eat those steelhead from the day before. I've seen and heard about guys going down and getting 2 fish every day for 5 days, maybe 5 out of 7 days a week. What are you doing with all this roe? It's not even possible that you need all this roe. So I don't want to see roe fishing coming to an end. If you're a guy who kept 1 or 2 fish last year to fish all this year, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's the people who are being greedy and taking and taking and taking. So let's talk about ways that you can fish steelhead without killing steelhead. We made it. On our way to driving to Gagnon Sports, the ministry called back. They asked me what I wanted this information about, and I explained to them I wanted it for the vlog. So they put me through to their media representative, and she's supposed to call me back. But let's go in here and talk about what you can use instead of nuking all those rainbows. Right, so we were talking about over harvesting of steelhead for roe. I fish steelhead a lot. I fish steelhead more than the average person over my lifetime. Never kept more than 1 or 2 rainbows or salmon a year, but we hear all the time of people keeping 2 fish a day for weeks on end, and it's just greed. These days, because I don't want to kill any fish out of the river, because killing 1 fish to catch more fish, although it's legal, I simply don't care to fish. I don't fish enough to need a whole fish. So this is what I've been using. I showed you at home the salmon and rainbow roe I had. Right there, you can order it online. You can come here to Gagnon Sports and buy it. Between $21 and $25, depending on if it's Chinook or rainbow or this is brown trout. It's cheaper to buy this, tie 100 roe bags, for $25 than it is to buy your bass jig. Bass jigs are way more expensive. I think like average 8-pack for $9 is way more expensive than just buying roe. And this will help the fishery. Less fish that are killed, females that are killed in the river means more fish will spawn, which means more fish will return, and it catches fish. I've had no problems all year catching steelhead on this roe I bought from Centerpin Angling. So come to Gagnon's. If you can't make it to Gagnon's, go to centerpinangling.com, order up some roe, try that. On the road, heading home. Ministry of Natural Resources media representative called while we were in there. I had a great chat with her about the river. She's going to try to find out more information on exactly what's going on at the Ganaraska River. She did say she would call the enforcement side of this. She thought maybe there was a sting operation going on, an undercover officer down there maybe watching what is going on. She said she can't tell me if it is. We chatted about, what can you do? She said still the best way if you see a fishing offense is to call it into the Ministry of Natural Resources, and she says they should respond right away. So it's been a tough day, a long time coming, this whole what we need to do to solve these river problems. It seems to be getting worse and worse. We need to figure out a solution to stop the poaching, stop the over harvesting of female steelhead right across Ontario, so that young Ashton, who's 6, when he's a teenager or 26, or my grandchildren, can still go to those rivers and fish from shore and have fish to catch. You may think this is a little silly, but if you look at Lake Scugog and the walleye problem there, probably could have dealt with that a little better 10 years ago. The time is now. It's up to me and you and everybody else who holds a fishing license in Ontario to do something about it. We need to protect the future of fishing right now. It's what we do now is going to roll out what happens 5 years from now. We can't change the past. If anybody who, we used to keep steelhead and use their roe, and 20 years ago, and this is what we always do, that doesn't work anymore. Preserve our fish. Nothing wrong with taking a couple female Chinook salmon or a couple female rainbows, but you don't need 2 a day, every day, for that you have this mass amount of roe. You don't use it all. If you're one of these guys who is keeping all these female rainbow trout steelhead for that you can chum whitefish, you're a douchebag. Don't wreck our steelhead rainbow populations for that you can throw a bunch of roe over the side of the boat in order to catch a bunch of whitefish in the spring. It doesn't make sense. Protect our future. I wouldn't be making this video if it wasn't for having the Ganaraska River in my hometown. So it is important to me and everybody who uses this beautiful resource to do what it takes to protect it. You don't have the right to fish, you have the privilege to fish. The same with me, same with everybody who buys their fishing licenses. So I hope that was some good information for what's going on at the rivers. I just wanted to shed some light on the ongoing problems that we have on the rivers. It's not just the Ganaraska, it's all the rivers that are open. This is going on. Updates on what is happening at fear fishing. The lakes are frozen. They're starting to melt. Hopefully when we get back from the Bassmaster Classic, the lakes we'll be able to put the bass boat in, catch some crappie. Pumped about the Bassmaster Classic. We leave a week Thursday. I will be bringing the cameras, uploading hopefully while we're down there so that you can catch the adventure with us. It's not even noon. I'm going to go upstairs, edit this, get it online. Thank you to the Ministry of Natural Resources to answering my questions that I had. They are going to look into this. If I get some news back from them, I will share it with you, but they were concerned about what I had told them, so they're going to check it out. Follow on Instagram. In between all these vlogs this time of year, there's not a lot going on, like I explained, so check my Instagram, fear_fishing. You can watch it all there. Protect our rivers, protect our lakes, and we will have hundreds of years of great fishing in Ontario. We'll see you soon.